Yo, what's going on, peeps? It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard, heading to work. Bright, well, not bright, dark and early on a Saturday morning. These back-to-back shifts are hard. I get off at 11, drive home, have time with the wife, eat some dinner, and then have to be right back first thing in the morning. So anyway, there's a viral video going around of a security guard in a Walgreens in the Seattle, Washington area. If you just type in Seattle Wallgreens, it's going to pop up, okay? There's a couple of things that are important for me to go over in this situation. Number one, I try to do my absolute best to help educate on this channel private security guards, okay? There is a vacuum of information when it comes to our learning how to do our job properly, understanding like the scope of our employment, anything and everything that has to do with our industry. It's just there's not a lot of standardized information, and even though we are not given a lot of training, even though we are not put in a situation where we can be successful for ourselves, for our companies, for our clients, for the industry, we're still held responsible for the mistakes that we make and the stupid shit that we do. So once again, you know, based on the actions of this one person, and I have to believe that for the most part, a lot of the things that this person was trying to do comes with great intention. It brings a lot of discredit on us as security guards. It makes us look absolutely stupid. And guys, the long and short of every one of these situations is this. It makes us look unregulated. It makes us look unprofessional. It makes us look dangerous. And it gives local politicians an immediate platform. Somebody is going to latch on to this. And things like equipment restrictions, things like our ability to move freely within a location that we're working on a contract, all kinds of things are going to come from this. And they're going to come from similar situations that you guys as security guards find yourselves in. And ultimately, that's going to affect each and every one of us. So there's a lot of security guards that I'm seeing online. There's a lot of security guards on Reddit cockeying and kikiing, laughing it up, talking shit, being real reckless with how they view this whole situation. Rest assured that the joke is going to be on all of us, because there's going to come some legislation from this large lawsuit. And if you would just fucking listen to the things that I try to tell you guys on this channel, most of you would not find yourself in this situation. Because every single thing that this person did that was absolutely asinine and wrong, I have gone over time and time and time again. But you don't want to follow my channel because I'm not telling you to go out there and do cop shit. You don't want to follow my channel because I'm the guy that's telling you to de-escalate. You don't want to follow my channel because I'm the guy that's telling you to think before you do shit. You want to follow these fucking forward operators? You want to follow these fucking cops? You want to follow these retired police officers who are telling you to go out there and do cop mercenary type shit, and this is what we get. And when I say we because I am going to be beholden to whatever comes from this situation or the next situation. I don't do security because I don't have other options. I do security because I'm very, very good at it, number one. I'm passionate about it, number two, and it's needed, number three. So now that I've gotten that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get into it. The video shows a black female who is inside of a Wallgreens. She's approached by a security guard. The security guard informs her that she has been observed concealing merchandise, that, you know, he has been told, he is getting a report that she is concealing merchandise. He would like to check to see if she has said merchandise, and you know, they're going to go from there. Now, clearly, the person starts filming the interaction, continually tells the person, the security guard, that she does not have the merchandise, that, you know, she wants to see the video, that she hasn't done anything, okay? Now, there's a lot of reaction videos and breakdown videos out there where just on the surface, people are saying, look, if this person stole something, why would they, you know, continually say, go ahead and call the cops, or why would they get loud and draw all of this attention to themselves? Guys, that is something that happens on a daily occurrence. I don't think that I've ever come across someone at the location where I work who hasn't been stealing, right? Someone that is clearly stealing, concealing, tampering with merchandise. I don't think I've ever come across someone who hasn't gone into this big tizzy fit of trying to gain and garner attention. That's something that, if it's not happening where you are, that is a big thing here in the Pacific Northwest with people who are actually doing something wrong. Right? This is the riot capital of the world, so it should go without saying. So that's one thing that I wanted to just get out there right off the very bat. But anyway, this guy makes the approach. He accuses her, or says that he is not the one that's making the accusation, that his management is telling him that she's been concealing. So, number one, shopkeeper's privilege works differently in certain states. I don't work in Washington. I'm right, next door to Washington here in Pennsylvania. Some states, I know that I think that Nevada, so like in Vegas, the way that their shopkeeper's privilege works is that they can do what's called transferring of observation. All right. So in Las Vegas, if a loss prevention officer is watching on camera and sees someone conceal merchandise right there, even if they plan on paying for it, if they conceal that merchandise, that is an offense that can get that person kicked out of the store, right? For the most part, in Oregon, there are 5 elements. You have to see someone enter into the area. You have to see them select the item, right? Let's just say it's makeup. You have to see them select the makeup. You have to see them conceal the makeup or tamper with it in some way. You have to see them bypass all points of sale. That means every potential register that's in the location. And then you have to see them exit the store. Only then can you make the detainment and the apprehension for shoplifting. In certain states and in certain cities, that's not the case. Simply concealing merchandise, even if they plan on paying for it, is an offense that you can have that person removed from the store, okay? So short of knowing what the post orders are, short of knowing what the shopkeeper's privilege is for that area, it's hard to say if or not he's able to make that initial approach. All right, so let's just assume that he has every right under his post orders and the situation that he's in to make that approach. They get into this back and forth. And when you're dealing with the subject, if you are lawfully, legally, and by policy able to deal with the subject, don't get into this back and forth with this person. You're being filmed, you're being recorded, and she's throwing out anything and everything, whether it's an excuse, whether it's a reason, how she feels about the situation, whether or not he should be talking to her, what he should be doing. That is what you should be approaching. You should be telling this person, articulating that, and then you should be going from A to B. You should not be getting into this long, drawn-out conversation, because everything that you're saying is being recorded, and now moving forward, that's all information that is going to be used against this person. Now, after some digging, after some looking into the situation, everything comes to light. This guy is not up to date on his certification, which means that he should not be working in this capacity. The second thing is that when he had this interaction with this person, and he states on camera that management is the one that saw her concealing, management is the one that sent him over to talk to her, in the police report, that's not what he told the cops. So now there's a convolution of facts between what he told the subject and what he told the police officer. This is all public record now. So right there, your integrity, your ability to stand on why you were interacting with this person to begin with, all of that comes into question. Because number one, you're not certified. Number two, you have either falsified a report or you falsified a statement. Which is it? And then number three, these goddamn body cameras. This guy is wearing 2 body cameras. I have a video on this channel about why you should not be wearing a body camera as a security guard. Guys, just because they have equipment out there doesn't mean that we need to have it on. Now, if you're, I think I'm coming down with a cold. If your company is mandating that you wear a body camera, then you have to wear a body camera. But if you're wearing a body camera just because you think it's cool, or you want to capture video that you put on YouTube, this is the kind of shit that happens. This is my number one reason for not wearing a body camera. Number one is because every interaction that you have, you better record it. Because the one time that you don't record it, now the question from the every interaction goes south, you don't record it, just like they would with the police officer. They're going to say, what was the set of circumstances that made you not record it with my client? Is it because she's black? Is it because she's gay? Is it because my client identifies as transgender? Now you're in all sorts of hot water. Let's just assume that you do record every interaction. Is it in your state policy as a security guard that you're supposed to be using a body camera? No, there's no policy about it. Then why are you choosing on your own accord to record everything? Well, I'm doing it for personal protection. What are you doing that you need personal protection from? Where do you dock your camera? Where do you keep your information? Oh, it's on your private computer. Great. I'd like to go ahead and subpoena that. With everything else that's on there. Your financials, your socials, your porn search history, everything that you Google. You're putting yourself in a hornet's nest of liability that you cannot win. You can't. Even if you do everything right, you cannot win that. Law enforcement departments have control over those body cameras. The second that they come off of the officer and they get docked, that information is, I'm assuming, backed up on a server that the governing body, the organization, has access to. That officer, for the most part, doesn't have access to that. You can't articulate or argue why you're doing that. You just can't. On a personal level, this guy had 2 body cameras, neither of them were on. One of them was in idle. So now the question is, why would you have 2 body cameras, neither of them recording? Why did you have the body camera in idle? Were you trying to intimidate my subject? I don't want to say lastly, because I'm sure something else is going to come up, but another issue is that we still to this day, as security guards, are not understanding the importance of optics. I talk about optics all the time. If you are 6'2", 270 some odd pounds, and you're wearing a plate carrier with 3 extra mags, 2 body cameras, 2 sets of handcuffs, OC spray, a taser, a firearm, and you're approaching a female, and if you're in some of these more left-leaning woke cities, you're approaching a black female or a trans female or a elderly female or a teenager, you have to understand the optics of the situation. Where are you standing? What is the tone of your voice? How are you approaching this situation? Any deviation, any lack of understanding of this, especially when it's caught on camera, you are only tightening the noose around your own neck. Because at the end of the day, whatever this person's policies are, whatever this person's intentions were, whatever this person was attempting to accomplish, that he has every right, every opportunity, every purpose to do, it goes out the window via the optics of how it looks. You just can't do it, guys. You can't run up on people. You can't be overly aggressive with how you're trying to enforce what you're doing. I mean, you can. And let's be honest. There's times and there's places and there's situations where at the end of the day, you just have to handle it how you have to handle it. Are there times where I have to deal with a 100-pound crackhead that's a female and she has to get out and she's being aggressive, she's throwing things, she's cussing, she's screaming, and I have to get this person off the property? I can't do that holding her hand and singing her a lullaby. I get that. But this is where understanding our job and the beauty of the freedom that we have as security guards to articulate what we're doing and why we're doing it. I have multiple videos on that, and I will make more, about how you protect yourself in the ways of the things that you say, the areas in which you position yourself, and how you approach these things. But all of that is moot, not mute. All of that is a moot point when you're working unlicensed. Why is that so difficult? The second you strap on your uniform and you put that gun on your hip, or if you're working unarmed, you put that radio on your hip, and you walk into a location to work and you know that you're not certified, you know that you're not licensed, everything that you do, even with the best of intentions, it doesn't matter. And you put the entire industry in a bad position. And there's no excuse for it, guys. We talk about all the problems of our companies, the things that they don't do, the things that they need to do, the things that need to change. But when it comes to our certification, when it comes to our ability to be licensed and work, there is no excuse for that. That shit has got to stop. And it's no wonder that the people that always get caught up in some bullshit are the guys who don't have their license up to date. Always. If you're incapable of being certified and up to date, more than likely, that's not your only issue and not your only problem. And you're not going to understand the other stuff that I'm talking about here. You're going to make those same mistakes. This is my last point. There's a lot of conversation about what this guy is wearing. We're right back square one to the damn gear conversation. Why is he wearing a plate carrier? Why does he have, multiple magazines? He thinks he's a cop. He's LARPing. I expect that kind of conversation from trolls on the internet. I expect that conversation from people that don't know any better in the media. We have got to stop doing that shit as security guards. Now, clearly, I'm the kind of security guard that works in an environment where I wear a plate carrier, I carry multiple magazines, like, I get the tactical label, I get that shit thrown on me just as much as anybody else. So it's not lost on me that when I say this, people are going to say, well, it's easy for you to say that because that's how you dress. Motherfucker, I ain't LARPing shit. You can Google where I work and you can look at the area that I work in and the multitude of murders and stabbings that happen on a monthly basis. You can go through my history and see that I responded to a guy getting his fucking head blown off at one of the locations where I work. You can look on my page and see the 12-inch knife that was pulled on me in October that I ended up in court over. I don't need to come on here and justify or argue why I wear what I wear. That's number one. Number two, my uniform is dictated by somebody else. But as a security industry, we have got to cut this shit out, coming down on people for what they're wearing. Other security guards talking about the fact that this guy's wearing a plate carrier and he has extra magazines, that is not okay. Because that gives fuel to people who are, in my opinion, the equivalent of a fucking FUD in private security. There's a lot of people that work in private security for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't get it. But if you're one of those guys who've been doing security since 1974 and you think that we need to be wearing brown slacks and a button-down shirt, like, that has no bearing in what we are doing in private security today. We're not working in an environment where we're not in a threatening situation. We're just not. Society doesn't operate like that. Now, does every location and company and contract need an outer plate carrier? No. But should any security guard who is dealing with the public have on a bulletproof vest? At the very least, a stab-proof vest? Absolutely. And if I had any level of authority, if I had any level of influence, that would be mandatory, no questions asked. The mass shootings that are happening in grocery stores. The murders that are happening in convenience stores. The robberies, the smash and grabs, the rampant retail theft is happening in places like Wallgreens. It's happening in places like shopping malls. It's happening in all of the places that have private security guards. So in a general sense, not related just to this officer, back off of the fucking conversation about people wearing outer carriers and gear. Now, that being said, should you have 2 fucking body cameras? No. Should you have 4 sets of handcuffs? No. Do you need 6 mags and a rifle? I'm not here to tell you that you don't, because I don't know where you're working. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what's coming through your door. But you need to be able to articulate why you have that equipment. You need to be able to explain and share with people the reasoning why you have it. It's not for anybody to tell you that you shouldn't have it if you legally can have it. But all that being said, you better be licensed when you're doing it. Because short of you being licensed, you are only creating more problems for all of us. If that situation with that female had gone south, he would have gone hands-on. God forbid a shooting were to have occurred. Something like that would be the death knell of our industry. So on one hand, as security guards, we have got to calm down with roasting each other. And at the same time, we have to also be doing our absolute best to build each other up as guards and help to make sure that this situation doesn't happen again. I am in a personal situation where I work with guards from other companies. As much as I have offered, as much as I have tried, as much as I have begged, I have done everything that I can to offer my services, my knowledge, my abilities to help lead security guards, whether they're in my company or they're working for another company that happens to be working alongside of us. I have been told multiple times, you're not a trainer, you're not a supervisor. And yet and still, we have people walking in with all kinds of shit, doing all kinds of shit. Now, at some point in time, the issue becomes, it's not my job to say something. I'm not the person to train. I'm not the person to educate. But at the same time, my ability to work this contract is beholden on another third-party person not doing something stupid that gets us all terminated. It's a village. So what do? I can't give my opinion. I can't tell somebody what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. A lot of y'all who follow this channel don't like my opinion. Y'all think that I'm out of line by saying the stuff that I'm saying. It's your delivery. It's the way you say it. You're coming down on people. You talk like you're better. You think that you're above everybody. No, I don't. I like being able to pay my bills, and I pay my bills by doing private security. And if you're walking around with a fucking, pepper ball gun when you're working an armed security contract, or you're rocking a 380 with no magazine, like, that's a problem. If you're wearing a uniform with an outer carrier, 4 magazines, 2 sets of handcuffs, 3 body cameras, you're 6'3", you're 285 pounds, and you're running up on a smaller female, and you don't understand the optics of that, that's a problem for me. So who's going to say something? It's not about roasting each other. It's not about coming down on each other. It's about building each other up with common sense conversations. So if you're a security guard and you're watching this, look at that video, watch the breakdown of that. I'll do a more in-depth breakdown tomorrow when I'm off. Watch that video and look at the areas where the mistakes are being made, and ask yourself, am I doing some of that stuff? I can watch that video and tell you 2 or 3 things that I have done that are just like that. I could have easily ended up in that same situation. The cell phone is going to be the ending of our existence in private security, because there's too many of us doing stupid shit and it's getting caught on camera. That transparency is great. We call for that transparency in law enforcement. We need that transparency in private security. But guys, beware. Beware of what you're saying on camera. Beware of how you're approaching people. Make sure you're following your post orders. At the very least, make sure that you're certified and up to date. And watch yourselves when you're out there, okay? We will discuss this in greater detail tomorrow when I have more time to break down that video step by step. Y'all be great. Take care.